Can a gynecologist who might be new to the city start her practice or a clinic in Nagpur?
See, I feel that's absolutely possible, and I'm doing that pretty well. I'm so happy that I did it. When it is a tier 2, everybody knows everyone.
Yeah.
So, recognition is easier, and I feel it's always better to have a clinic set up because you somehow are away from the hassles which a hospital would be offering to you. I think COVID has been an eye opener to all of us that nothing is inevitable and anything can change anytime. So I think after that, this healthcare scenario definitely has changed.
Is there some actual challenge?
Like we suffered a lot on that part. This is our profession. We earn out of this. It's a noble profession. We want to give back to the society, but at the same time, this is from where we'll earn also. I think Facebook is something which this generation at least doesn't
like
or go to. I've had patients who come down hearing those YouTube shorts, those videos. So I think that is also something which is very nice. They want to come to me because I'm non-judgmental, because they think I'm approachable, because they think they can talk out whatever it is. I chose that, I want to see only 10 patients a day who would come and discuss these, healthcare concerns, which are a very intimate part of their life. They would want to come and they would want to discuss.
Right.
I'm telling you, during COVID, I've seen Siddharth being an ENT specialist and an ENT surgeon. I've seen him operate till 2, 3 at night.
Right.
And I think that's why we all are doctors.
Hi, so welcome to today's podcast, and I'm more than happy to share with you about today's guest. She's not just a senior in the healthcare fraternity, but she's a very good friend to me, and I would say she is not very old. She might look old to you, but she's very young, and not just young, she's young by heart. I would like to welcome Dr. Parul Saoji, who's the founder and owner of Oracle Clinic in Nagpur. She is a gynecologist and she is an IVF consultant, and she is the best one you can find in the city. Not just medically, but she is a very, I would say, a chirpy girl. Love to be on the social platform, is a part of many organizations, not just on the level of the cities, but she is a member in the level of state. She's also a part of AMOG's YTP, and she's the chairman. And she's not just trying to leave any stone unturned. She has been active on all platforms, and I'm more than happy to be here with her on today's podcast. So today we are going to talk how can a gynecologist set up a practice in a tier 2 city, Nagpur in India, and she has her own ways, she has her own experience in the same. So welcome Dr. Parul Saoji.
Thank you, Shravan. The pleasure is absolutely mine for having me here today.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So let's talk how can I'd say a gynecologist set up a healthcare clinic or maybe a hospital. So what would be your take on this? Ki a gynecologist who might be new to the city or even is from the city can start her practice or a clinic in Nagpur.
See, I feel that's absolutely possible, and I'm doing that pretty well. I'm so happy that I did it. So, when it comes to a gynecologist coming to a city like Nagpur and having their own practice, so I think it's very important because it's a very close knitted city. When it is a tier 2, everybody knows everyone.
Yeah.
So, recognition is easier.
Right.
And at the same time, the investment part and the space, how the patients would come in, that would be easier when it comes to a tier 2.
Okay.
I personally feel like that.
Okay.
Because when it is a tier 3 or, a city like Mumbai, metro cities like Mumbai, Delhi, it's a little more difficult, I feel. Because there are big corporate hospitals with whom you have, a lot of competition and stuff. And I feel it's always better to have a clinic set up because you somehow are away from the hassles which a hospital would be offering to you.
So I completely agree to this part that having a clinic would be a very good thing in a tier 2 city. Not just a tier 2 city, I was in a tier 1 city previously, and I had seen some great doctors who were like famous in maybe treating some specific disease or in a specialty. But uh, on the contrary, coming from Nagpur and seeing all doctors have hospitals, I saw someone having only a clinic there. and he or she would be a part or might be on panel of two hospitals, and they are like two big hospitals of that city. So I really feel that that is something which is a really nice thing, that a clinic is the right thing which one shall think on. And frankly, as a management consultant, if someone would ask me also, okay, I would like to start my practice in a city like Nagpur or any tier 2 city or tier 3 city, my first suggestion would be that focus on first making a clinic of yours, and trying to maybe get attached to these hospitals, because that is some way which can help you make your own name. So would that be right in saying this, or you might have a different take on this?
Yeah, because see, when you have hospitals where you are attached to,
Right.
it gives you freedom that you have 4 to 5 hospitals which you can offer to the patient. Suppose if you're having your own hospital, so might be there are few things which are not what a patient would expect. Probably I cannot have a setup which is very lavish, or which is like, patients these days they demand that
Right.
they would have want this in their rooms, that in their rooms. So could be I'm very good clinically, but when it comes to the infrastructure, probably it's not that great.
Right.
So when you have these corporate hospitals which are there, and you can attach yourself to one of these or two of these or three of these, you can offer that to the patient.
Right.
See, I have this as a spread, so you tell me where all and where would you want to get
Pick one.
operated or get delivered, so you
Right.
can just pick up. So it's like a cafeteria approach.
Right.
And I think with the Gen Z and Gen X coming to us,
Right.
I think it makes it all the more relevant
Right.
that you have given them a choice, that this is what it is. You want me, I am there, but you can choose the healthcare services which you would also want, along with me being in their journey.
I think nowadays people have considered hospital as hotel, or would like to have a hotel in a hospital rather than actually having a hospital per se. Is
Yeah, it's more of, I think it's become like a hospitality industry,
right,
as I should say, like that. And I think there's nothing wrong.
I
Suppose
agree.
say if I consider myself and I would want to deliver at a place,
Right.
I personally would want a certain set of things, because that's one of a lifetime experience. Then why not? And see, when you can have both the things clubbed, you can have your own expertise, you can have your experience, you can have all the good fellowships and trainings which you have been taking and your experience all these years. And if you can club up with something like a good hospital which has a lot more to offer, then why not? And we know that now the healthcare is advancing to more of places and systems where it would be that everybody would be insured.
Right.
So when you have a health insurance on the cards, I think people are okay spending that amount. So why not offer that to them?
Yeah. I have seen that there have been a very drastic increase in the health insurances post COVID. Like they would have might increase to that more than 50%, I would say, in the sales
Absolutely.
and in general. So that definitely makes the cost of healthcare very easy for the population nowadays, as compared to what they thought it of as a burden before, but
Yeah.
post COVID it is an ease to them because of the healthcare insurance.
I think COVID has been an eye opener to all of
Right.
us, that nothing is inevitable,
Right.
and anything can change anytime.
Definitely.
So I think after that, this healthcare scenario definitely has changed, and a lot of people are opting for these, insurances, and cashless is becoming the thing
Right.
day by day. So I feel that part also, getting into the technicalities and stuff like that, it would be always easier that you manage the patient medically,
Right.
and let the management people do that part, rather than when you owe a hospital, everything is somewhere. I might
Right.
hire somebody there also, but at
But
the
still,
same time I am responsible for it very directly.
right.
So
That's
I rather channelize my energy in the medical part of it, and not the management part of it.
agreed. So now let's talk about what would be the challenges one would face as an individual when we talk of setting up an individual clinic or a healthcare setup in Nagpur. So what would be the challenges, or what are the challenges you think you have faced and might help our listeners today?
Yeah, so when it comes to the challenges when you open up a clinic,
Mm.
so I think first of all, to figure out that where exactly do you want to, and the clientele which you would want for
Right.
yourself. It is very important that you decide on that, because like Nagpur, as you've been here, you know
Right.
what a craze Ramdas Pet and Dhantoli
That's
is for medical
it's
practice.
kind of like the medical hub of the
Yeah.
city. It's the heart of the
Yeah.
city wherein
Yeah.
all the
But then at the same time, you see that so many same fraternity people in the same building.
right. That's
Yeah. And more so over, it's been built up like years and decades ago. So the parking and all those, see, when you are putting up a thing, you have to think at the point of view the patient would be thinking.
that's true.
So it should be convenient for them to come.
Right.
At the same time, there should be some parking which is available. A parking slot should be there. The medical, pharmacy should be around. The place should be a little, I felt that,
and
welcoming and cozy is something which I would want for my
Right,
patients.
right.
I do not want to treat them as my patients. I want to treat them as my friends. So when they come here, they should feel that it's a little cozier. It's not that, कि BP उनका देखा तो BP बढ़ना चालू हो जाए जैसे ही they climb up the stairs and they come up to me. The building should have that, aura,
yeah.
which is clean, neat. The lifts should be always functional.
Right.
So these few things about the place make a lot of difference in selecting where exactly would you want to. Might be some people have other thoughts that, a place which already has a lot of doctors would have more doctors and more patients pouring in. That's a school of thought there also. But I personally felt that no, the place should be a little calmer, easier for the patient to approach to, should have good amount of parking. That way it makes it easier for the patient to come. You look more approachable to them. Otherwise it comes, it becomes a task for them that they have to come to you. It's a task.
That one thing which you said ki you have to think of it as the patient's point ki, it should be welcoming to them. So that's the one thing I also say to a lot of my staff when we basically tend to look for like our setups ki if you have a washroom and that washroom can be used by you yourself, then that place is 100% good enough for your patients or for the people you're looking to cater to. So these are some small things that actually play a very big role, I really feel. And as you have actually made your new setup, you have started your own clinic, and I don't think it has taken a lot of time. It's still new. So is there some actual challenge or something which you thought कि यार ये बहुत कॉमन है, और अगर मेरे जैसा कोई दूसरा डॉक्टर, कोई दूसरा गायनेकोलॉजिस्ट, नॉट जस्ट अ गायनेकोलॉजिस्ट, एनी डॉक्टर जो आज एक हॉस्पिटल नहीं है, एक क्लिनिक भी चालू करने वाला है, तो ये अगर आज वो पॉडकास्ट सुनने वाला हो तो उसको ये एक चीज अगर आज आपने बता दी तो डेफिनेटली उसको ऐसा लगेगा कि यार वो पारुल मैम ने मुझे कुछ बताया था, एंड आई थिंक आई शैल डेफिनेटली मीट हर, मुझे शायद से कुछ और सुनने को बेटर आई कैन
see, the first thing when me and Siddharth we thought of creating our own place, the first thing which came in our mind was that, as you said, it should be something which we feel good entering in.
Right.
It shouldn't be just a OPD space. So you must have seen that we have a lot of greens around here.
Right.
We usually use the yellow light or something which is very warm. It doesn't give that chamak and that hospital feel. And at the same time, when we made this place, we did take care of the aesthetics, but the
Right.
aesthetics were to make this feel look like a home, a little homely environment.
Right.
But we did see that what would be very practical, because when we hire people to create things for us, they will see the aesthetic part, but the functioning part is something which we know the best.
Right.
For instance, that I would want the TV to be here. Probably it doesn't look aesthetically very
Right,
nice,
right.
but I know for me it would be an ease. I would want the patient to be undressed here because they'll go for an exam there. But then how that place should be,
Right.
how comfortable it should be for her. So we thought all those aspects, and it's been almost 10-15 years that we both are into practice.
Yeah.
So we've seen a lot of things, we've worked at a lot of places. So all that cumulatively we have tried to imbibe here.
Right.
That when a patient comes here, we give them the best of medical facility which we can, but at the same time make it the best and at ease for them. And one more thing, like we suffered a lot on that part, the hurdles when it comes to taking these permissions.
Right.
It just takes forever.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when you plan that you want to have your place, so plan these things also well in advance,
Right.
because it the system is such. I'm not blaming the system, probably they are also overworked, whatever, and there's so many things which keep coming in. For instance, elections came up,
Right.
so their attention is diverted somewhere else. So I think you really need somebody who can manage all these parts of yours, who can understand all this. And that's when I think, the hospitality management takes up the role,
Right.
that you unburden yourself from all those things
Mhm.
which probably would be, stressing you to the core. We didn't do that. We did that mistake. That, I did everything by myself.
Right.
I want this here. I want this permissions. I want that permission. I want this machine, the PCP and DT. So being a gynecologist, and if I might say, like for physicians is the stethoscope.
Right.
The new thing is that for us it's the USD machine.
That's true.
So the permissions for that, which machine to be taken, how much to invest in that. I'm practicing cosmetic gynecology. I'm one of the pioneers of that in the city.
Right.
So investing in lasers. So that investment also has to be very
Calculated.
thoughtful and calculated.
Right.
And yes, this is our profession. We earn out of this. It's a noble profession. We want to give back to the society, but at the same time, this is from where we'll earn also.
Right.
So ROI, the return of investment, is something which we have to have on our cards. I mean, we cannot just let go of that. कि देख लेंगे. Like,
Right.
we
That's true.
have to calculate that. We might just offer two kind of strategies, that we have a lot of patients, probably not a very elite class, and keep the rates very low, or cater to another class of patients and charge a little higher.
Right.
That's absolutely up to the person who's starting their practice. But then I think that's very important, because the laser machines which we have, they cost us a bomb, like 20-25 lakhs. Then the USD machines, they cost. Then other things like in the endoscopy unit, the cosmetic unit, there's a lot of investment
Right.
which has been put in. So you have to be very sure that what exactly you want to do. At the same time, you have to make sure that you're trained enough, and you would be having those patients who come down to you, and you will be having the return of investment which you have made.
So that's something, and I think it's a very big takeaway for all our listeners today. For listeners, if you want to know about designs in the hospital and their importance and the aesthetics part, you can hear out on our different podcast, which is based out on the hospital design and its importance. Now, as ma'am has given that takeaway, I would just brief it down to one point, that understanding your target population or the people whom you are going to cater to is something which is very important, because that is something which helps you decide on how big or on what scale do you want to go and start with. So now let's talk about more on the operational and the administrative part of managing your own clinic. So what were the difficulties, or what were the challenges which you have faced or you might be facing when you're making and running your own clinic now? And is there something which, as a suggestion, or something you think ki, I might think of starting this, or I might think of thinking this as a option to get over that burden or those challenges? So is there anything which you would like to share?
Yeah,
with us?
definitely. See, be it a hospital, be it a clinic, or be it a home, you have challenges whenever it is managing the people and managing the place.
Right.
So one part is managing the place, and the other is managing the people who are going to manage the place.
Right.
So both the things, they are something which you will face anywhere and everywhere.
Right.
So when it comes to a clinic, I feel that starting from what the appointments are, what timings have you given, whether you took care of all the calls, whether you cater to all the marketing which is being done for you, whether did you entertain every bit of it, the Insta, was it answered back, whether like suppose say you got some leads from somewhere, whether did you get back there or not, and what did you say, what did the other person say, did he pick up the call, did he not pick up the call, why did he not pick up the call. It's like a fiasco, that this it starts from there. How
Right.
many calls,
Right.
how many missed calls, how many here, how many there. So that's the first thing. Second thing, it comes to the cleaning of the place. a person like me who has OCD when it comes to, keeping things at place and keeping it proper. And as you mentioned that, a bathroom should be something
Right.
that a restroom or a washroom. See, I have all my patients who undergo a sonography or
Right.
transvaginal scan. So we want the bladders to be empty.
Right.
We would want them to, urinate. So I would want that place to be
Absolutely
absolutely
clean.
clean, non-stinky, and as good as they would be using their own,
Own.
home places. So that's one thing, keeping the place very clean, very fresh. So I think that's something very important for me,
Right.
because I have seen myself when I have entered, hospitals here in Nagpur or probably in even Delhi, uh, that particular smell,
Hmm.
that's that just takes it off.
Right.
We've
And
entered the hospital.
yeah, even that one washroom can make
Yeah.
the entire image of the hospital go bad in like seconds.
Yes, yes,
Because it actually matters. We go
yes,
to common places, we go to public places. That is something that helps us make a picture or an image out of that public place per se, we can say.
yeah,
So that is something I also can 100% correlate. And definitely cleanliness is something which not just us as owners or us as the people running and managing it, but the people who are going to walk in,
yeah,
it matters to them also a lot. Like if you keep a hand on a dirty car
yeah,
and if you keep a hand on a clean car, so the ease of standing near that car is hell lot of different. You might not just
absolutely.
even go near a dirty car thinking कि यार हाथ लग गया, या if my cloth just
Yes,
touches it from the far, it will have that dust or the dirt on your clothes. So that is something that I can 100% like correlate, and I think that is something which people would look to think of. But let's talk about the cleanliness. How easy or how difficult is it actually to achieve what we think as, or we can say is our expectation? So how easy, or
it's not easy at all.
how do you
Trust
keep
me.
yourself calm, or how do you keep yourself
I think I
sustained?
have to carry a stress ball in my hand all the time, moving around the place. But yes, see, when people start working with you,
Right.
they understand what you expect out of them. And I think it's a constant thing.
Right.
Like even in our house, we have house helps. We have to tell them regularly, see, I want this, I want this, I want this. And more so with the people who are working for you, you have to be a little more, you know,
Patient with them.
patient and humane with them.
Right.
You cannot just bust them out at
Yeah.
any point of time. And see, I've seen so many people do that. Probably, like even our homes, if a maid commits a mistake, we would just yell at them. Yeah, I have seen that many
Right.
places.
Right.
But I think that's not the right way. If you take the other path, I think they would be much more acceptant and they would understand. Suppose I just walk out and I just yell at the receptionist that you have not done this as of now. There are two patients who are waiting outside.
Right.
They see this side of me also. So they'll picture me like that. So forget about what the receptionist would think and what relation we will have eventually.
It's
What
going
would
to
my
ruin your
patients
patience.
are going to think about me?
Yeah.
And if I can't be patient with the person who's working for me, for my interest, then how will I be patient with the patient who has come down for me?
Yeah.
So I think it makes a lot of difference. But yeah, we have few things like, we put some charts inside the washroom at different places. The receptionist, she takes care of, the person, two people who come down, that did you do this, did you do that. We have days assigned for the, we have lavish glasses all around the place.
Right.
So we have designated days that at least thrice a week this should be done. This should be cleared. The plants should be watered every day. We have to move the plants. See, most of them are like, indoor
Indoor
plants.
plant.
But some of them are outdoor, but we have good amount of sunlight coming out here. So moving places, because aesthetically this plant might look good here,
Right.
but it would need some sunlight. So I'll have to get it here. Then again, put it back. So these small things we have made, I might say that SOP kind of a thing.
Yeah.
That you have to do this on this day, and just give a tick that yeah, you have done it, you've checked it. And then at that point of time, the receptionist or that one point contact, she will come down to me and tell me this is done or not. So rather than me having to speak to 10 people who are working here, I would have one point contact. I cannot deal with 10 brains at a time. It really would make me go crazy. Not that I have a huge setup, but yes, this
Yeah.
one is also something where you any place requires that effort.
Yes.
So I want her to do that. She would brief me for whatever it is not. So all those things are there. So I think if you have this centralization of who would be doing what, how, when, I think that would be helpful
Okay.
in that way. So cleanliness is something which we do this, that I'm telling you, we've made SOPs. I am that OCD person that when I come, so my bottle of water, it's kept on something and it should be
Posture,
kept
yeah.
this way, at this angle and here. So yeah, these people have a tough time with me, but yes, now they've understood. It takes time, but they do understand.
So this is how a doctor can turn into a manager, and I completely assure you that a doctor shall never turn into a manager. You shall hire some managers and let them do their job, and you can do your job better.
Yes, absolutely. I agree to it. And that's what I'm saying, that I do not have a healthcare manager per se. But yes, the person who takes care of the health desk outside, she's the one who is, doing a lot of these things for
Yes.
us. So it is somewhere, a lot of it is something which doesn't come to me directly.
That's
It comes to her. She tries to do it on her own level. When not, that is when it comes to me.
agree. So now let's like we have talked a lot on the challenges and the issues which one could have faced or it can face. Let's talk on something which is actually the right now I can say it is the only thing which many of the people are focusing on, or even people who are not from the medical fraternity tend to tell doctors that you shall market yourself now and you shall market yourself well, because it is something which is, I think, as you have said, Gen Z, Gen X, ये जितने भी अब आ रहे हैं, they would go online, see you, have a look on मैं किसके पास जा रहा हूँ, what is the place like, and things, other things like. So what do you think are the effective marketing strategies for a gynecologist in a city like Nagpur or any other, if you have some
Because I think
tips to share with
the
us?
web presence or the
Yeah.
internet presence can take you to places. I
Right.
mean, be it in Nagpur, anywhere, it's like as good. So yes, I think it makes a lot of difference. And as you've mentioned, the Gen Z, or I might say, whatever the next
Yeah,
one is,
I am also
I
not
don't know,
sure.
because
Yeah,
I'm
that's
really a decade or two older. So I think Gram, Instagram, that's what they call Gram.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing.
Mhm.
So you really have to make sure that you have a very good presence out there. At the same time, whenever you're putting as a profile picture, I've seen a lot of people put a dog, um, something. I mean, anything.
Anything else?
Could be them walking on a beach and just the foot or something. But I feel when you're putting this thing up there, you should have your own picture, because then they can relate to it.
Yeah.
They can see, they can get that vibe, that whether you're relatable or not. That's one thing which is very important. Other than that, whatever you're posting on your social accounts,
Yeah.
for that matter, it has to be something which makes relevance with them. And I think video testimonials is one big thing which somehow they connect with.
Yeah.
So because it's like somebody actually narrating that how well they were treated and what their journey was.
And for something very specific, or
Yeah.
they tell you that personal thing or that issue they went through, so the
Yes.
other people who might have or is
Yeah.
going through that same thing can connect very easily.
Absolutely. So you can put up a lot of video testimonials from your patients if they are ready to testify, because that makes them feel that if somebody is ready to testify for them on a video cam.
Right.
See, written reviews also make a lot of difference. I would
100%,
agree.
100%.
They do. And they are helping us also. But at the same time, a video testimonial is like 100 times amplified, authentication of what is being done. So I feel that is one thing which everybody should be. And I think if you're very, like I'm telling you, I want my patients to be my friends.
Right.
So if they share that kind of a bond, you would never have to ask them to do that for you. They'll be more than happy to do it for you. It's like that.
That's
and you shouldn't take it over the top. Please don't give them a script. Many hospitals and many people, they'll mention about this XYZ hospital, mention about this XYZ doctor. No, don't do that. It is very evident. They'll not be able to relate it. They'll gauge it. When we can, the generations who've come now, they're way smarter. I'm a mom of
100%.
two,
Yeah.
and I see that 1.5-year-old act way smarter than what we would have even at the age of 10 or 11.
And your
So-
younger one would be more smarter than the older one.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I think shouldn't be a drafted thing.
Yeah.
If somebody is wanting to testify for you, let them do it the way they want to, and it gives that vibe, it gives that connect. So that's one thing. I think Facebook is something which this generation at least doesn't
Like, I would
like
say,
or
yeah.
go to. We still use Facebook, but I
Yeah.
think if you're trying to cater the newer population or somebody who would be coming to us through these services, so I think Facebook is not the thing.
Mhm.
So try not to. Yeah, YouTube Shorts is one thing which I feel that if they really want to and they're inquisitive about what you're talking, they'll go there, they'll
Okay.
hear it out. I've had patients who come down hearing those YouTube Shorts, those videos. So I think that is also something which is very nice. LinkedIn, very important. When it comes to a professional profile,
That's the
you
go-to.
need to. And I think there's this newer thing which has come up, and I recently attended a conference where I came to know about it.
Okay.
It's Reddit,
Yeah.
and it's the new thing. And as per some of the social marketing people which I met out there who are
Mhm.
doing a lot of things for Geo and everybody, so they told me that, ma'am, you cannot not have a presence there.
On Reddit, right?
Yes. So I think we have to upgrade ourselves when it comes to social media and marketing. Other than that, the blogs, the newsletters. See, not everybody would be a Gen Z or Gen X.
Agreed.
There would be people like me who would just open up their mailbox and read something like that. They would always feel very good if there is a personalized newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be informative for them. They'll relate it. They'll be more than happy that, oh, the doc remembers me.
Right.
We do one more thing, that we wish all our patients on their birthdays.
Okay.
We maintain a diary. So that's also one of the things which, when I come in, they tell me, aaj 4 birthdays hain, aaj 5 birthdays hain. And we have a personalized template for everyone. We have one template where we put up a name. We put mine and Siddharth's name for all his and mine, both patients. So that makes them feel really nice.
Yeah.
See, on my birthday, anybody who would wish me on my birthday, I'll feel great.
That's true.
That's like making up my day. So they feel so good that the doctor remembered me. She's wished me on her own. So there are few things which I think would really make a difference. So I told, like, mailing, Instagram, Facebook, Reddit. Other than that, I think that Google thing is also there, which I understand really less of, because the marketing people only do it. That's one thing which we have left them to do at least. So the SEO, what they keep telling us, and I think that's search engine optimization is very, very important. Like, ever since I've had my own clinics, I've really gotten into this thing that SEO is something, and Meta ads is something, and Google ads is something. So yes, all that is important. In today's era, you just cannot skip on that. So all these things I think should be done. And if you have a good person, a good marketing agency who can do that for you, would really be very helpful.
Hand, yeah.
And I think like off late I had given one of the talks for Zscaler. It's like a company which is based out of Bangalore, and they have branches all over India.
All right.
It's an IT firm. So all this while I've been giving a lot of awareness talks. I do that. I think I have that passion.
Right.
I would go to street places. I would go to colleges, schools. So I think that also makes your presence, because you're doing something, you're delivering back to the society, and at the same time you're causing that awareness. Right. So I've had patients who've come down from the awareness talks also, because when you deliver that talk and when you deliver it in a fashion which they probably can relate to, so then they feel, yes, I can go to this person. So I've had patients from everywhere, because see, the college students and all, they would want somebody who is more approachable, non-judgmental.
Right.
So I think if you carry that approach, it helps. So you conduct these small, camps or awareness talks, probably in schools or some buildings or somewhere, or a close-knitted group where, like, for instance, I'm doing cosmetic gynec. So intimate health. Not everybody would outreach you and tell me, yeah, I have this problem. But if you have a closed room conversation and they feel that, oh, they are not judging me for this.
Trust, and also
so they would come down to you. So that is what you need to develop. So I think all these things, somewhere, you speak about things like, sex or periods, and you're open about it.
Right.
They feel relatable. Otherwise, you're like, what? You're not married, and you're thinking about. See, I'm nobody to judge someone. I'm not here to do that moral policing. I really am in no position to do that. They want to come to me because I'm non-judgmental. They want to come to me because they think I'm approachable. They want to come to me because they think they can talk out whatever it is, and I'll give them a solution.
Right.
So I think that is the kind of practice which we probably have to cater to. And I think clinic gives you that advantage over a hospital.
That's
They feel, they're not much people.
right.
It's like a, ease out place. So I think
Not much, not many eyes to watch you on.
Yeah. So it's nothing to do with having a lesser practice or something.
Yeah.
I choose this.
Mhm.
I chose that, I want to see only 10 patients a day who would come and discuss these, healthcare concerns, which are a very intimate part of their life. They would want to come and they would want to discuss infertility patients. They have so many, issues which are related to their sex life and stuff like that. So they would want to discuss it. They would want a environment where not much people would be, just coming in, going out. All these things I feel make a difference. And when it comes to a clinic, I think you can offer those things too.
That's so I really like that point wherein you told us about that taking these awareness sessions, camps, or even doing these small giving back to the community events is something which I really feel is has actually become more of like a CSR activity for hospitals or big institutes. But when we tend to have a word, like I come from the management side of the healthcare industry, and I have got the opportunity to discuss this point with many doctors. Ki, let's have some sessions, let's have a general checkup camp, and there would be people who would give you the feedback कि यार ये कैंप से कुछ ज़्यादा फायदा होता नहीं है, it's a free thing which people also know कि आज free में होने वाला है. So you'll have a very huge come in, you'll have like hundreds of numbers who might walk into you, but then there is no end result. But what you said कि they get connected, yeah, so I'll just make that more like I'll explain that point, that this is what I tend to do with doctors, that I like to give them some free tips. I would like to give them something to give away, because when you'll go back to your institute and you'll face some issue on which I have given you some feedback, or I had shared some solution which I had experienced or have done, you'll relate to me next time. You'll remember me the next time whenever you'll face some another issue. And that is something which actually is like that free tip which you leave for that patient or for that client for that matter to come back to you later for more of such issues or any such thing. So that is something that actually helps a lot. But I really feel that people have stopped doing it as actually doing it from the part of giving it back to the community, and rather it actually just doing it as a responsibility or just as a, I would say, duty ki karna hi hai. So they are doing it. So
see, I don't know. I mean, there are various ways to this question.
yeah,
But yeah, like see, like 10th of November, we had a health camp here at my own clinic, and it happens to be my birthday.
right,
So we still chose that day because I wanted to celebrate it with the people who are willingly coming to me without being my own patients. They're still ready to come in. Fine, there is a thing which they are coming for. That's a free health checkup. There are free sonographies, free endoscopies. But at the same time, they trusted me somewhere. That's why they have walked in.
right.
Yes. So, having my birthday with them and, probably having a cake cutting ceremony with all the patients who had walked in, they connected with me. I connected with them. We could give them time. We could do the best without any intent. We were absolutely okay. Yes, fine. Come in and we are here for you. So I think that is something. It's not just to showcase that I did this. No, I didn't even once mention that it's my birthday today and so I'm having the camp. No. See, it's not something. It wouldn't, because like you said, how many turn-ups and turnovers would be there from a camp patient?
Yeah,
Very, very
exactly.
subjective. It really is not much. But I think you somewhere have to be in a position where people feel relatable to you. They feel that connect, and I think it's very very important. See, somebody, any doctor of mine who has had that one-on-one conversation with me, I would any day want to go back to that person rather than somebody who's really very good. See, skills everybody has. That's why we all have acquired,
Right.
MS Gynac and fellowships and this and that. But that's where the difference comes. There are people who are doing exceptionally well, and there are people who are having their decent practice. So I think that's what has taken them that way, this far. That they have that connect with their patients. They have somewhere given it back to them. The patients feel related. See, many a times we might not be able to deliver the results which probably was expected out of us. But when the patient knows that you have done your level best, they will never have their doubts कि इन्होंने सिर्फ पैसे के लिए मेरे साथ ऐसा करा. They'll not have that. So I think that is very important. That जो आपके खुद के patients भी हैं, they have that trust कि जो भी है, she has given in the best for it. So I think that is what you need to cater to and probably get it over in years. So that's what me and Siddharth collectively we have thought. And his father is a plastic surgeon, and he is somebody who holds really high values and ethics. So I think from there it seeps into us. We have got it inculcated that no, giving back to the society is always very important. I mean, they have given us so much. So I mean, like for instance, Siddharth and Daddy, they're associated with Eviana, which is one of the associations which Dr. Gerald Banet is a founder of, and we are members in this particular thing of his, where we are treating all these patients who are acid attack survivors with Rangoli Ranot as the representative for the same, because she herself is an acid attack survivor. So Daddy and Siddharth are actually operating these patients free of cost. So it's just that we need to do our bit wherever and howsoever we can. So probably we'll not be able to donate something really huge. It will again burn our pockets, but this is something which we can do. It's a skill which we have, so we can always operate these patients free of cost. So we are trying to do all these things, and it's definitely nowhere to yes, it is a marketing thing. Yes, I wouldn't deny it, but at the same time it comes from heart. Because the patients gauge it. They understand whether you're just doing it for the heck of it or you really imply something out of it.
So that's actually something very great to know, that like we do come across many things which doctors or members from healthcare fraternity do and give out to the community. It's actually something when I heard this for the first time, and I'm really happy that Siddharth sir and your father-in-law is doing this for the acid attack patients, and they're not just doing it, they're doing it for free. And there is something which actually is something which I really feel that all the doctors and the entire medical fraternity would never hold them back. Like even in times of COVID, we have seen people going out of their comfort zones. We have seen doctors losing life, but still this is something which I think is really amazing. And I think this is something which makes this medical fraternity different from all the other businesses. And this is where we are at human.
We still have that human touch.
At heart.
I'm telling you, during COVID, I mean, I've seen Siddharth being an ENT specialist and an ENT surgeon. I've seen him operate till 2-3 at night.
Right.
And the tracheostomies or the black fungus, the entire, the
Right.
endoscopic surgeries which they have done, it's like the first-hand experience and the, exposure, first-hand exposure to the virus. And having, two kids who are so young and stuff like that, still coming back, taking bath and not getting to see them. And it's like, we're getting that infection back at home.
Right.
With all that risk also, we out-risk it for our patients. So we have it. And I think that's why we all are doctors. That's why we chose it. See, as I said, it's our profession. So any profession is somewhere where you earn money out of, right? But at the same time, I think we are a little different from everybody out there. That's why we chose, being a doctor as a profession.
Right. That's true. So we have talked, I think, entirely about setting up a clinic, the issues you can face, and how can you manage and everything. Now let's give some hope to our listeners and let's tell them ki, what are the opportunities that actually exist out there in cities like Nagpur, even like cities like tier 3 cities like Jalgaon for that matter. If
Yeah.
you know ki, what are the opportunities, or how can they vision themselves in the maybe next 5 years, 10 years, um, and they shall have that confidence ki, this is the time I have to give in, and this will give me the result. So
Uh, so I feel that what you can do is that, these days many of us are practicing, like, a niche. For instance, if it's gynecology, somebody would be doing an IVF, somebody would be doing laparoscopy, somebody would be doing aesthetic gynecology. So you can have these tie-ups
right,
with your friends, your colleagues, or if you think that no, this is not how you want to go ahead, you want to do everything, you have been trained in everything. So probably you can have a different fraternity tie-up.
Mhm.
For instance, like, we are doing aesthetics, a lot
Right.
of aesthetics here. Siddharth is doing like hair transplant and stuff. So what do we have is that we have a dermat with whom we are, associated with.
Right.
So whenever it is the non-surgical part, he is taken care of. But when it's the surgical part, he refers here.
Right.
Okay, and if suppose a patient comes in here who wants a non-surgical approach to begin with, or
Mhm.
probably he has come in for a PRP or something like that, so we'll refer that patient there. So that ways, you can establish that practice.
Mhm.
No, because not everything everybody can do.
Right.
And when you have this, multifaceted approach to, from where all the patients can come in, or who all can, pitch in for you, I think this is a good thing, that you can have different specialities who can, just pitch in their patients for you.
Right.
You just need to gauge it, and you need to just, figure out that from where you need to get whom and how you have to speak to that particular thing. You can also tie up with hospitals,
Mhm.
because see, the equipment which it requires for one particular niche, the hospitals might not have it all, because
All.
probably it's not something which would give them a lot of return.
Right.
So probably they'll not want to invest in that. But you think that you are, specialized in that, and you have already bought the machine. So you can, just tie up that ways. Okay, fine. Suppose say there's like a hearing machine or
Mhm.
a hearing test, or for instance, like laser for that matter. A hospital might just think that, it's not something which would give us.
It might not be word to them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably they don't know how the outcome could be, but you already have it. So you can just talk there, you can speak up there, the gynecologist who is working there,
Mhm.
or the, management part, and you can tell that, if you have such and such patients from any of your fraternities, you can offer them to come down to my clinic, and we can have, some sharing of the revenue.
Right.
So that way they are also happy, you get a patient, and the patient also gets benefited, because that particular facility is available in Nagpur in that way. So I think you can attach to different fraternities, you can attach to different hospitals. Also, I think you can have tie-ups with pathology labs, pathologists, because that also enhances your practice, because the patient wants one stop go,
Right.
like, everything at one place.
Service under one roof.
Yeah, because they wouldn't want, yeah, like for instance, I do my scans myself, so I have a USD machine here. But at the same time, a pathologist, if we have, so that makes it easier for them.
Mhm.
For instance, if I would want to, do a particular thing, and if I have that thing, somebody, I've outsourced that thing, probably I'm not invested in that, so that person can just come within 10 minutes. Patient is ready to wait for those 10-15 minutes, that they won't mind, but they don't want to go from here
Here to
there,
somewhere else.
and then probably you might just lose him, right? So it's better that you have everything here, not as an investment, but you can outsource things. You can have somebody who can just come, a phlebotomist. I wouldn't want to invest on that.
Right.
Why should I pay somebody 5,000, 10,000, whatever they charge, I might say. I rather have a person, who's a pathologist. I tell her or him that, this is what it is. And whenever I'll have a patient, I'll give you a call.
Right.
They can come, and the reports come down to you. That's like an authentic lab where you want to get it done from. So this ways it makes your practice easier, that get associations and outsource things,
Right.
but make sure that it's available for them. So I think this is also one thing which is available. And Like I said, we can have, tie-ups with IT firms and other, you know places where awareness is something which is important. And once they're aware that you are aware of all the things which can be treated, I'm sure they reach out to you.
Definitely. So that is like whatever you have shared reminds me of something I have heard at a installation of IMA, that the president, IMA president of Maharashtra, has had shared the same thought that it's high time that doctors stop making hospitals on their own and rather team up and do work on collaborative grounds,
Yeah.
make big hospitals rather than making a small hospital. When five people would come, they would make a bigger hospital rather than one doctor making an
Yes.
individual hospital, because this is what actually your community needs. They want that comfort ki when I come to you, you advise me, I have to get this done. That is done there itself.
Yes.
They don't have to go out somewhere. They would like
Yeah.
to wait, as you have rightly said, but um, taking out the vehicle, going out to a
Yes.
different place, parking it,
Yes.
then going
And also
inside.
more so over, you can just tell them, see,
Yeah.
if you want, it can be done here, but if you want to do it from somewhere else, we are okay with that also.
Right.
So they don't feel that, we have any hidden agendas, that I have some cut practice with that particular person, because that's not something where we want to go to. It's really shallow to practice that. That's how I feel about it. But then at the same time, when you give them that offer that you can get it done from outside, but make sure it's a, certified authentic lab, so then they feel that, okay, she's nothing to do with the money which is going to be, charged for me, and you're offering something nice to them.
So thank you so much, Dr. Parul. It was really nice having you today. I am definitely sure that if there is any gynecologist who's going to come down to Nagpur, and not just Nagpur, who's aiming to start his or her practice, this podcast is something they shall definitely listen to. They shall definitely hear out and hear out all the things that Dr. Parul has shared with us today. And I don't think ये सिर्फ गायनेकोलॉजिस्ट के लिए हेल्पफुल है. देर आर many doctors who are starting their new practices, they are starting their new clinics, so you can hear out, you can understand how things have happened, can happen, and take you far in the better way for your clinic and for you. Thank you for hearing out today. This is Dr. Shravan Khetn, your hospital management consultant.